The Pentagon has been keeping track, or trying to, of the type of aircraft that don't take off and land from conventional airports. We're talking about unidentified flying objects, UFOs. You can laugh about it if you want, but a lot of people are taking this revelation very seriously. Correspondent Garrett Tenney is here with more on this program. Good evening, Garrett.
Brett, good evening to you. We may not know if aliens exist, but it turns out our government had a special team of UFO hunters that was trying to find out. The Pentagon now confirms the existence of a secretive UFO program tasked with investigating reports of unidentified flying objects. The Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program was created in 2007 at the urging of then Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. And over the next 5 years, the program received more than $20 million for its work, which included analyzing a variety of aeronautic threats ranging from what could be our adversaries' next generation aircraft to reports from military pilots of encounters with unknown objects like this one in 2004 that appear to defy the laws of physics.
Look at that thing, dude. Look at that thing. It's rotating.
Now, the Pentagon tells us the program ended in 2012 when officials determined there were other higher priority issues. But the program's former director, who resigned in October, says it was only the funding that ended and that over the last 5 years, the program has continued investigating incidents alongside their new responsibilities. This weekend, Harry Reid said he has no regrets about the program he championed, tweeting in part, "This is about science and national security. If America doesn't take the lead in answering these questions, others will." And this isn't the first time the Pentagon's investigated UFOs. Between 1947 and 1969, the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book investigated more than 12,000 UFO sightings. And while most of those ended up having reasonable explanations, 700 sightings remain unexplained. Brett?
Cue the X-Files music. Garrett, thank you.
This came out yesterday. It says advanced enemy tech or something else. U.S. lawmaker wants Navy to explain UFO sightings. See? Why is that? Because the so-called white man is getting very nervous. And they know in their spirit that these so-called UFOs is not with them. It's pretty much a indication of them being overthrown and that their kingdom has ran its course. Matter of fact, before I read that, let me get something else real quick come to mind in the book of... real quick, in the book of Zechariah, the 5th chapter, starting at the 1st verse, it says, "Then I turned and lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." What's this flying roll here? Well, it's what the world knows as UFOs, so-called, all right? Verse 2, "And he said unto me, Where seest thou? And I said, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Verse 3, "Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth." Yeah, and this is dealing with the so-called white man's perception of what the world calls UFOs. It's a curse to them. And as you read on, it's going to explain. It says, "For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." So who is guilty of stealing, man? The so-called white man. Did not they steal this land from the natives? Did not they steal the Israelites? Literally, man. They stole us and brought us over here into captivity. They stole our identity. That's why Yahweh Shai spoke concerning the so-called white man. He called him a thief, you know? He said that the thief come not but to steal, kill, and destroy. So these chariots, which in this case is known as a flying roll, is a curse to the so-called white man. That's why they dismayed or terrified at the signs of heaven, being the so-called UFO, all right? So you see these devils, they all locked in, man. See, you got people out there that come up against us, but guess what? The so-called white man take this thing serious, man. See, Jake, they'll laugh us to scorn. "Oh, you guys crazy talking about so-called UFOs." But guess what? The powers that be, you know, those that rule the planet Earth in the form of these bankers, you know, these top lawmakers, what we're reading about you know, the military presence of the so-called white man, they know and understand that the so-called UFOs is for real. And they know that this is how the Lord is returning, man. That's why you got Trump. You know, they got these space wars. They got these weapons out in space, which goes into nest. When you go into that word nest, it pretty much means a place for storing weapons up in the heavens, man. What you think they got those weapons for? They're anticipating the return of Yahweh Shai and the angels, man. All right? So it says a member of the House Homeland Security. See, why is the Homeland Security concerned about the so-called UFOs? Because that's a fulfillment of that war in heaven between Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels, man, which is going to be in the form of what the world knows as UFOs and these different, you know, the Air Force, all right, in these different countries and their militaries, all right? That's a part of the prophecy. It says a member of the House Homeland Security Committee wants the U.S. Navy to shed more light on reported encounters with strange objects, see, with strange objects traveling in defiance of the laws of physics. Yeah. These so-called UFOs, they're not bound by the laws of physics, so-called, man. You know, these UFOs, they can shrink to as small as a pinhead, and they can expand to as big as a damn mountain, man, or a planet. So the so-called white man don't stand a chance when Yahweh Shai returns. That's why the scriptures say Yahweh Shai is going to return in his glory, man, with the host of angels. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. I think it's, give me 1 second. I believe it's Matthew the 26th chapter. You know what? Let me try the 16th. Okay, yeah, the 16th chapter, Slack, is Matthew 16 and 27. It says, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, see? And then he shall reward every man according to his works. Yeah, so the Lord is going to come with these angelic powers, man, heaven's armies. You know, the host of heaven. When you go into that word host, it means armies. And it also tells you, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. That's why we just read in the report, it said these objects, they defy the laws of physics, man. Why? Because that's a part of the glory of the Lord. When the Lord says he's returning in his glory, a part of that glory is going to be the UFOs, see? Or so-called UFOs. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. Talking about the so-called white man. I would take vengeance and I would not meet thee as a man. See? So the Lord, when he returns, he's coming as an angelic force. And that's going to be a glorious day, so much so that you're not going to have the words to capture that moment, man. We're in very heavy times. And again, see, you must understand why we're excited about this information right here, man. Because in our spirit, we've been yearning for our Lord to return. You know, going all the way back to our past life. So, you know what? Let me continue. It says the obsession with unidentified aerial phenomenon, which they changed the name now to UAP, has gained new impetus 2 years ago after the U.S. government finally admitted to once running an advanced aerospace threat identification program. While the secret program was reportedly terminated, the Pentagon, which the Pentagon is the source of defense, you know, that's the military or the so-called white man, It says the Pentagon has acknowledged that the department still routinely investigate UFO sightings. See, emphasizing that the U merely stands for unidentified and does not automatically mean alien or extraterrestrial. Well, what does it mean? See? Hey, and Lord will, if I remember, I'll put this in the description box, you know. So I just wanted to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.